This song was written during the first gas crisis of the 1970s Carter administration. I did belong to a carpool, and once again, my songwriter's imagination took off. But the people described in this song were at least somewhat close to the personalities I describe herein. The Car Pfool. The price of gas being what it is, I started tossing a few ideas about how I could get to work without selling my soul. Then I read about this carpool thing, figured, what the heck, I'd give the notion a fling. After all, what I have to lose but an empty tank? I pasted up ads all over the place with my name and address, my phone and the date that we'd get our little menagerie out on the road. 408 calls I narrowed to 5. That allowed enough air to keep us alive, and one fella named Killer volunteered for the first day's load. Because you gotta belong to a carpool, and if you don't, you're a car fool. You gotta drive the mob to the job and save that Arab fuel. You gotta belong to a carpool. Killer showed on time in his red Cadillac, which was green on one side and gray in the back, and he smiled as he said, "By the way, you ever been in the can?" I said, as I slid inside. He said, "Y'all just relax and enjoy the ride. See, I used to run moonshine back out of Alabama." He did 75 out of my driveway. It was the thrill of a lifetime. Next drove Bill, an ex-Green Beret, changed radio stations like a drunken DJ, and Maybell'd make whoopee with any old sport who could reach her. Then Chico's sparkle red Chevy Impala, and Gordy's no start with the tranny that fell off, and rounding it out, Brother Brucey, an ex-Baptist preacher. Because you gotta belong to a carpool, and if you don't, you're a car fool. You gotta drive the mob to the job and save that Arab fuel. You gotta belong to a carpool. Well, to tell you the story of all of that week, it'd take longer than old Brother Brucey could preach. So I'll give you the high points in my born-again, converted way. Killer hit Billy when he laughed at welfare. Killer's funeral's tomorrow, and we'll all be there, except Chico and Maybell. They got married and moved to L.A. Oh, it was a beautiful service. And not the funeral, the wedding. Brother Brucey performed it. I loved it all. Hey, maybe we'll start another one, what with the price of gas being $8.70 a gallon.
That last story was called The Car Pfool, P-F-O-O-L, even though it's a reference to the carpooling. That was recorded originally back in 1975 during the Carter presidency when USA was going through that unbelievable inflationary period. Very clever. Very clever. Thank you, Phil.
Phil Gross has written poetry and turned them into songs since he was about 19 years old. Many people write in diaries or journals. Poetry and songs are his journals, documenting his life, strife, loves, and the passing of his years.